Now on News 3 this morning, for states impacted by Hurricane Milton, it could take months, if not longer, for communities to not only clean up but rebuild. But Election Day, well, that's less than a month away. Scripps News national political correspondent Stephanie Liebergen explains the changes already happening right now to minimize the hurricane's impact on voters.
For many residents in the southeastern U.S., the focus is on recovery and cleanup after Hurricanes Helene and Milton. But election officials know they still have a job to do as November 5th gets closer. In North Carolina and Florida, the damage is severe and widespread. Officials in both states have approved changes to election administration. In Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis signed an executive order relaxing some of the state's election laws for counties impacted by Helene, and concerns have only grown following Milton. Some early voting locations or precincts are damaged or without power, forcing officials to move them to a new location. But in most cases, election leaders will try to keep things as normal as possible.
You can see this if you look at the North Carolina order from the State Board of Elections, where the election officials in the counties are directed to try to do everything they can not to move polling sites, not to change hours, et cetera. But when they have to, they're authorized to do that.
The devastation caused by the storms could impact mail-in ballots. Even with most states using ballot tracking technology, high winds or floodwaters mean ballots could get lost or damaged in the mail. Impacted voters can typically ask for a replacement ballot, or they can vote in person instead.
Anyone who's requested a mail ballot nationwide, if they choose to vote in person, they have an opportunity to. They might have to cast a provisional ballot, but so long as that ballot doesn't come, their mail ballot doesn't come in, that provisional ballot will count.
It's too early to know what impact, if any, these hurricanes will have on election turnout. But remember, 4 years ago, during a pandemic, a record number of Americans cast a ballot. So even in difficult circumstances, when Americans are motivated, they show up to vote. Stephanie Liebergen, Scripps News, Washington.